Welcome back to another episode of Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, Jeremy, a night rider who, even in the quietest moments, will be your fantasy forever. All the ladies want to be playmates with me and feel the electricity. What can I say? It's just magnetism. My co host, though, he will use his magic mind to make you feel like you're on Jupiter. He'll play a slow jam fool's overture until you give a little bit of your love to him and call him Balaji. He'll say, I'll write a song for you until you quiver in my arms. CJ motherfucking playing the music god himself, everybody.
Real.
Ah,
And I will
welcome.
park on your dance floor.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later. But folks, welcome back to another edition. I know I finally started editing episodes and getting them out again. You're welcome. Sorry. Uh but we are back once again with another great member of of a great record label. And we had when when they asked me if he can come on the show, I was like, of course he can. What albums do you want to bring? And then as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, he can definitely come on the show. That's definitely yes. Folks, welcome artist himself, Billy Ray Rock.
How
How you
y'all
doing, Bill?
doing, man? I'm doing good, brother. How about y'all?
Can't complain too much. Life keeps stressing, but music keeps us here. That's all that matters. But so tell us, Billy, what got you into the music scene?
Man, when I was young and I was made to take band like a lot of kids, and I thought it was kind of dumb. My brother played saxophone. We lived in a rickety ass house, and I used to have to sit and listen to him practice for hours on end. I thought it was just stupid. And one day, the band that he was in, he had a band called Black Fur. Um, and they played during our lunchtime in school. And when the show was over, all these girls came running up to him for autographs. Now he's a grown man at the time, but I just couldn't believe the women loved him. I was like, this is my calling, man. And the more I and the more I did it after that, man, the more I loved doing it. And just kind of, kept following that trail, man, of love and passion for the music. And here I am, you know.
Well, what instruments can you play? Because I mean, I heard a variety in your music, but what instruments are you playing?
I play over 13 different instruments.
Ooh.
Um, so I play, bass, guitar, pianos, little violin, drums. I can go through them all. But I would tell you this, man. I am not Prince. I can't outplay you on your instrument, okay?
I,
But I could go ahead.
I was gonna say that's funny as shit. 'Cause I was about to make a comparison there, but all right.
Hey, bro, no, man. No, look. I can play it well enough that you can say, man, is that your instrument? But if you want like a jazz fusion, it ain't happening, you know. Um, you
Yeah.
know, I don't think it really serves me well to outplay everybody. Because when is that going to come into question in a concert, you know? I mean, I'm not going to be into my second chorus of a song and everybody's going to start booing because I didn't kick the drummer off and show him how to do it. I mean, what the fuck? So it doesn't really matter how great I am. But it does help me though, because when you listen to my music, I feel confident knowing that all the instruments on there actually performed, you know. So
Yeah, exactly. I actually I listened to all five of the tracks you got on Spotify, and I gotta say, them girls and Irresistible B are freaking incredible.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah. The one song, Time Keeps On, has a guitar solo on it that I didn't do. And that was done by a real good friend of mine, incredible guitarist named Christopher Holmes. But yeah, them girls and all those songs, man, some people scream they're multi-genre, and then they're really not, you know. But I get
Yeah,
people tell me that I am, so I'll
I
take
mean,
it.
I ain't gonna lie, I can hear a couple different genres in some of them. I mean, them girls though. Did you write the lyrics for that one?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Um, some of those lyrics had me fucking dying. Uh, what's that one line? Even if you're trans, don't worry, I got some friends that'll make you feel girly.
Yep, that was the one. Yeah. Your
That
friends are
shit
gonna
had me.
make you.
I was like, he did not just fucking say that. He did not just fucking say that. But I'm like, all right, I like that. I really like this
Yeah.
guy. I didn't meet him yet, but I already know I like him. But uh,
Oh,
so
it's funny. Yeah.
I of course followed you on Spotify because I want to see what else you come out with. But
Yeah.
I'm it's I'm assuming you have a lot more music than those 5 songs made, and you
Oh
just
God, yeah. Yeah,
and
I
it
got a
hasn't all been uploaded to Spotify yet.
Yeah, they have not. No, I'm gonna drop probably a couple of more by the end of the summer and just keep going, man. I get into confusion about what genre of song to drop because you know audiences are all over the place nowadays, man. I mean, I remember rock was the music, and now it's like your parents' music,
Yeah.
and you know, so I have a hard time. Everybody's listening to rap, EDM, and country, basically, you know, and
Mm,
that's what the number where the numbers are. They say. So
I
I don't
mean,
know, man.
I,
Go ahead.
I I think rock is a pretty freaking hard fan base still. I mean, all across the world, but I mean, especially in Europe. Like
Oh,
it's
absolutely. Yeah, no
It
but all
question.
depends.
I mean, it depends on what kind of rock you are, because I mean, there's a lot of different types of rock out there. But
Yeah,
I mean, I still see some of my favorite artists still in concert halls in their rock. So
absolutely.
I
It's a
mean,
loyal audience, no question, brother. You know,
yeah.
I love it.
I mean, when I heard that first freaking that newest song you have, Four Fingers Get Up, like start playing, I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm like, I wonder how he would sound if he did some like metal EDM, kind of like Horn. Like, I wonder how he would sound with that shit, because that's immediately what came to my mind when I heard that song. But
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm like, I see potential for some metal shit here. I just gotta hear it. But but let's talk about music that you love. What album did you want to bring on the show for us tonight?
Earth, Wind, and Fire, all in all.
Oof.
Um, I thought that album was, in my ears, generationally good. It's just, I don't know if that's even a phrase, but it's got so much in it. I mean, you think about all in all. First, you start off with, from a ballad perspective, for Love's Holiday. Would you mind if I touched? I mean, just nice. Um, it's got I believe I sing a song on there. I write a song for you, and you write a song for me. I think that's on that album.
Yep, it
It's
is.
got a lot of stuff. But then it's got like Serpentine Fire, which is a funky thing. And then it's got Fantasy. Every man has a place in his heart. There's a space. I got that. So you got that melodic kind of a thing. And then on top of all of that, it's got the jazz fusion mamba. Ba ba
Mm.
ba yow, ba 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 ya ba ya bow. I mean, it's just, I mean, you name it, really. They fit it into that album, man, and I can't get enough of it. Um, and the horns and the and then of course Jupiter, which is a really great track. Yeah, it's just, I think, one of the most underrated. I mean, one of the things as a kid that I enjoyed when it came time to brag about who was the best band, I would always say Earth, Wind, and Fire because these are just a bunch of fusion jazz guys posing as R&B funk dudes. You know, so yeah, that was the album for me.
CJ, you've been going first for the last few weeks. I think I'll go first this week. Um, I see. You're the first person. I'll say you're the first person to bring Earth, Wind, and Fire on the show, which about damn time. But I agree with that. I see. I only ever knew Earth, Wind, and Fire because of their hits. So
Right.
this whole album was pretty much new to me. I don't think I've heard any of these before. Some of them sound familiar, but I don't have
Sure.
recollection of any of them. But it kind of surprised me because I always expected them to be more Motown than like this kind of George Clinton type funk they are. Like
Right.
I always thought they were more along the Motown lines, at least in the songs
Right.
I've heard. But I mean, they kind of have those elements of Motown in there, of course. But
They
it's
did. Sure.
but it's just it's not as Motown as I thought it would be. I thought it'd be more like along the lines of like Smokey Robinson or
Hmm.
even like who the fuck am I thinking? I confused them with this other band last week, and I can't even think of that band. I can't think of it, but they're definitely they're funkier than I thought they'd be, and I can't say I love this particular album like 100% like greatness, but I mean I enjoyed every track to some degree, and I did. I mean I found four that I freaking loved. I found four tracks in this I loved. I mean the rest of them are okay. They're not
Okay.
horrible. I could hear
Okay.
them again. I could hear them again. And I wouldn't go cry about it
Right.
like some other albums that have been brought on this show, but
Sure.
I mean it's they're I almost want to say I think I hyped it up too much in my head before I listened to it. Like I think I hyped it up a little too much, and I was like Earth, Wind, and Fire, yay! And I was like, this is not what I thought it would be. But at the end of the day, I'm not disappointed. I mean, I don't get that much into George Clinton and the whole funk like movement. I don't get too much. I mean, what the hell? Who the hell did that? Oh yeah, Funkadelic. Yeah, I mean, I like Funkadelic to some degree as well, but just all that stuff for me is kind of like I gotta be in a mood to really enjoy it. I gotta be in like a certain like mood, usually a little intoxicated to enjoy it, because then
Of
that's when you want to enjoy it. I mean, George Clinton
course.
concert. I've always heard George Clinton concerts got crazy back in the day. So,
Yeah.
but CJ, what do you think of all in all?
I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. So this record and the one I brought both. When I was 13, I did some boneheaded shit, and I lived with my dad, on the farm in Michigan, and basically I did some boneheaded shit. Dad said, "I don't want to look at you. You're going to live with your mom in California." So put me on a plane. I flew out to California. Mom lived 2 blocks off of Sunset Strip. And when we moved in, it was a condo. And the guy that lived next door, he was a history teacher for the LA school district. His name was Robert Griffith. And he was a black guy. And really the first like black guy that I ever really knew. Because where I grew up was just like 98% white. Mom had gone out on a couple of dates with him, and he invited us over for dinner. And he said, "You like music, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love music." He said, Go upstairs in my room and you can look at my records." And I went upstairs, and his whole bedroom wall from one side to the other, floor to ceiling, was just crates of vinyl. And he had everything in there: Earth, Wind, and Fire, Kool and the Gang, Midnight Star, Lakeside,
Hmm.
that band. I mean, he had this. It was the craziest, and I didn't know any of these bands at the time. But I would sit for hours in his room on the floor with the big old, trash can headphones, and just go through all of these records. So this was one of the records that kind of impressed me because it was so many things at once. Um, to this day, I have an affinity for Kool and the Gang. I love, love, love Kool and the Gang.
Sure.
But this is another band like Kool and the Gang that were much more than just their singles.
Sure.
They were talented beyond just what people knew them for.
Yeah.
Like you said, a lot of people consider them a funk band, but they're also a jazz band, they're a rock band, they're a blues band.
Hmm.
There's so many elements within their music
Sure.
that unless you really listen to the whole collective of their records, you don't really understand how talented these guys are. And the bass player, especially for Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Oh,
he's
Verdine, yeah.
yeah, he's
Woo.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
So somebody who, when you hear discussions of the greatest bass players, he never comes up in discussion, but he should. He
Yeah.
should be considered right there next to Bootsy, right there next
Absolutely.
to Larry Campbell and everyone else when it comes to
Yeah.
bass playing.
Sure.
So I was happy to see this record. Um, Serpentine Fire is a killer song. It's one of those songs that is fun to play. Whether you want to play it as a rock version or a jam, or just a jam version or whatever, it leaves a lot of space to experiment with. It's one of those songs. It's fun to kind of tinker with it and do different things with it.
Hmm.
So I was happy to see this record.
Well, and in full disclosure, man, um, one of the things that I liked about All in All in retrospect is that Earth, Wind, and Fire had a lot of hits spread out through a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
And their songs that were hits were such commercial hits that as a musician, I just got sick of hearing them, you
Yeah,
know? And it doesn't make it less good, but for me personally, as a musician, if I hear like September, for example, is a great song, but they play it to freaking death, you
yeah,
It's
know? I
that
mean, Let's Groove is another one, great song, but good God, so
uh,
that's
yeah,
that's the way I am with Celebration by Kool and the Gang. It's
that's
I
been a
another, yeah,
great
I
yeah.
song, but it's been beaten to death,
I
man.
I can't even listen to Celebration anymore. It's just so
Oh
it,
man.
they oversaturate
Oh.
they oversaturate it. Which I mean, September. I can't say the same thing. I can hear that song every day 5,000 times. And I'll never get sick of that song. That song's one of the best songs ever written. That's the one I
Yeah,
was thinking of. I'm like, I know they have a song I freaking love. I just can't think what the hell it
yeah.
is. It's September, yeah. My God, September is just iconic, iconic. But uh, do you remember? But oh my God,
Yeah.
love that song. But well, if you had to pick a top five tracks off this album, what would your top five be, Billy?
It'd be number one would probably be um off of that album, probably be Fantasy. I like. Um Probably Take a Chance. Take a chance as you dance in romance. Um Love's Holiday, Jupiter, and probably the Serpentine Fire.
I was gonna say I don't think take a chance. I didn't think take a chance was on that album. I'm like I don't go look. I'm like oh no it's not. I'm like I know that song. Like I know that song. I'm like that was on this album. I know. I'm like no songs I know by them were on this freaking album. But
I know, yeah, that's hilarious.
I'm like
But yeah, there's
I know take a chance. That's damn sure. But
yeah,
it's a good song though. Well, I mean I got top four out of it. That's basically the best I could come up with. My number four was already a song for you. I feel like I've heard that one before, but that's a really sweet love song. I like the way they did it.
yeah,
That's almost they almost did that one. That's kind of like the closest to Motown they got in this album is that song.
hmm,
But
yeah,
my number three was Fantasy because that's a great song. Um,
yeah.
Number two was Jupiter because that is such a groovy jazz track. That's
Oh man,
it's fun.
yeah.
It's really fun. But my number one you didn't mention. I freaking love that you didn't mention it. But my number one is Magic Mind. That
Magic Mind. I said take a chance. Magic
ah
Mind. Yeah,
okay
yeah.
yeah
I was the lyrics is in my head. Take a chance as you dance in romance to advance in expanse. Got a dime. But yeah, that's yeah. But the lyrics is
yeah
in my head. The Magic Mind. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Magic Mind has that '70s like
Oh man.
iconicness in it. Like it's freaking such a good song. So
Mm-hmm.
I immediately dug into that one. I was like, ooh, yes, that's. I'm like this is definitely the top track off this album. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I
Magic
mean,
Mind. Yeah,
if I
you're
had to
right.
pick if I had to pick a fifth, I guess I could throw Serpentine Fire on there. It was a pretty cool opening track. I can't say I fell in love with it, but it was a cool opening track. If I heard it a couple more times,
Mm-hmm.
I might like it a lot more. But
Yeah.
DJ, what do you get for a top on this one?
I didn't really make a list. I ran out of time. But I know Serpentine Fire would be on my list. Love's Holiday. Um, Running. I really like Running. Um,
That is really good too. That's a
Jupiter.
great track.
Jupiter. And then I think the other one that I really liked is the. Let me rack my brain on this. I think is it Bale is like the sort of jazzy interlude that's on
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Brazilian rhyme.
Da-da-da.
Oh no,
Oh
Bayo.
no,
yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
it's like Bayo. It's like an interlude. It's like a sort of a
Bayo.
jazzy
Yeah, yeah.
interlude. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's kind of a shift of pace for the
Yeah.
record, and it kind of a cool
Dun,
um
dun,
kind of a cool swing going from the upper
da-da-da-da,
part to the lower part of the record. Um, it's one of the things on the record that shows you that they're more than just a funk band.
absolutely. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they can kind of go beyond
Yeah.
what people expect of them.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't put interludes on my list just because they have to be either the funniest thing I've ever heard or they have to be like so amazing they blow me away. But all the interludes on this album were pretty good.
Yeah.
they were all very well put together and very interesting sounding. So I mean, I
Yeah.
like them. Just I'm not gonna put like a minute and a half track on my list usually, but
Sure.
they did their job. That's for damn sure, and I appreciate the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Because you need a good interlude sometimes to adjust the feelings you're getting from an album. So definitely,
I mean, and I started to say Prince 1999 for albums, but because there's
eh,
just a lot of songs on there that are just
that's
oh.
that's one of those albums that's been brought in the show twice and is officially retired from this show. uh, there's only two
I
albums.
believe it.
There's only two albums I ever let get brought twice in this show, and one was that, and one was Thriller. So,
Thriller, yeah, yeah, yeah. The greatest hits, basically. Jesus.
oh,
Uh,
I mean, not really. A part of the greatest hits, maybe, but I mean, if you gotta throw bad in there too for the other part of the greatest hits. But
So one of the guys that is my instructor now at LA Film School,
hmm
for audio production, the very first record he ever worked on as a producer was Thriller
Oh wow,
with with Michael Jackson and
that
Quincy
is
Jones.
that is
Um,
insane.
so I was like, because I was having trouble with Pro Tools, and I kept yelling at him about how I hate Pro Tools because it's so discombobulated, and I'd rather use other programs. And he kept going on about it being the industry standard, and you're making it harder than it really is. It's not that hard. And I'm like, says the guy who's got 50 years of experience working in studios, just telling the guy who's just starting that I'm making it more difficult than it is. Like the guy that was trained by Quincy Jones is telling the amateur that I'm making it more difficult than it is. I'm like, relax, bro. Like, it's easy when you've done it for 50 years. But
uh, yeah, I
but
mean,
it's awesome to have instructors like that.
oh god, yeah, that'd be amazing. That's so many questions, but then again,
Oh,
how much did he actually? I was just thinking though, like, did he actually get time with like MJ, or was that like he all like just the shit was already recorded and he was working on it?
no, he was there the whole time. He was one of the guys that was helping run because back when Quincy recorded that, it was on 64 channel board, like
Yeah,
a big one of the big giant boards that took up a whole room. So those boards can't be run by one person.
yeah,
There's 3 or 4 guys that have to be in there to run that board for the different ends. Um, and I had never seen one in person. And then when I went to the studio to actually do the schoolwork that I was doing. And when I sat in front of one, I was like, damn, this thing is huge. Like, you don't realize because, working from a home studio and having just a normal mixer like this, you don't realize, like back in the day, these things were, 16, 20 foot long and, 12 foot wide. There are hundreds and hundreds of knobs on these things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn. Okay, now I understand why you have guys who mix, master, remix, engineer. There's like 8 levels of what they do in a studio. And I was like, okay, it gives you a whole different appreciation for what they did back in the day versus today. Um, you know. So
Oh God, yeah. I mean, today. Today they got freaking AI helping them for God's sake. So it ain't even close. But I guess it's time to jump into the album I brought because well, I mean, you wanted to bring an album from '77, and I was like, crap. We've done a lot of '77 episodes. I'm like, I'm running out of stuff I know in '77. So I'm looking through the list of albums that came out that year, and I'm like, who haven't I brought? And I'm looking through, and like, I almost brought freaking not funkadelic. I almost brought George Clinton. I almost brought Cool and the Gang. I almost brought like a lot of bands that were huge back then that I know but don't know greatly. And I was like, and I came across this. I was like, somebody brought this band on like a year and a half ago or something like that, and I actually enjoyed the hell out of that album. And I'm like, I know my co-host loves this band, so let's try this album and see how it goes. Didn't know it had one of their major hits on it, but I was like, all right, let's bring it anyway. I was like, I don't need to look at the tracks. I'm like, I'm just gonna bring it. So I decided to bring Supertramp's in the quietest moment, even in the quietest moments, just because I like Supertramp from the one album I heard of theirs, which was Breakfast in America, which was a much better album than this one. I will say that. But how could it not be? Breakfast in America has like 3 of their huge hits on it, and overall the album was just more fun. But this album is kind of reminds me of one of Styx's like non-famous albums. Like it's kind of like got story behind it. It's got a lot of imagery that they are trying to put in your head. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my own album. I never heard it before today, so it was the first time listening. Never even heard of it for God's sake. So first time listening to it, and I was like, all right. I was like, all right. I'm like, 'cause I love doing that in this show. I love bringing albums I never even heard or of before because I want to experience new things. So let's dive in, and it turned out well. I liked it. I mean, it took a little while to get into it. It took me a minute to get into it, but once I got into it, I was like, all right, yeah, here's the Supertramp I know. And then as soon as I heard that fucking huge song, I was like, yep, okay, that's Supertramp. But
Is
I
that the album that had "Take the Long Way Home" on it?
no, that's Breakfast in
not
America.
this one.
Oh,
Breakfast
okay.
in America did.
That's Breakfast in America that has
Oh,
Take the
okay.
Long Way Home, the logical
Take the Long
song.
Way Home, logical song.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
I mean, trust me, if I could have brought that album again, I would have. But that's been brought on the show, and I ain't gonna bring it twice because
Mhm.
it ain't that status of the album to bring on twice. But this album, I wasn't disappointed with. Uh, did you get a chance to listen to this album, there, Billy?
I did not. I did
Ah,
not. I,
eh,
I I did look it up,
mm.
but I did not get a chance to give it a listen.
All
You
right, it's
know.
all good.
Um,
Um, this album is the one that has "Give a Little Bit" on it.
mm. Actually, I have heard some tracks on that album. I couldn't tell you a favorite or least favorite, but I know which album you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Love me
Well,
some Supertramp.
CJ, I'll let you glorify Supertramp with your discussion of this album.
so this is the record that Ray Davies recorded this in 2 different spots. He owned 2 homes. One was in the Rocky Mountains near the Canadian border, which is where the cover was shot. The other is his home in Spain. And you hear elements of both. On Fool's Overture, when you hear the wind blowing and the storm and all of that, Ray actually recorded nature sounds and used them on a lot of records. So on Babaji, you hear the church bells and the crowd and all of that. That was recorded in a square in Spain. He was sitting outside and he was just recording the church bells and the choirs and everything. And then Fool's Overture, there was a winter storm and he recorded the wind blowing and the house shaking and all of that from this massive blizzard. Um, Ray will, you know, Ray is an incredible songwriter. Um, Another one of those guys who doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he could do as a lyricist and a songwriter. Um, the biggest downfall with Ray, he's quirky. I mean, he's one of those guys in the industry who's known for being strange. you know, um, kind of kind of runs to the beat of his own drum. Um, doesn't work on a time schedule, which is why, in almost 56 years of the band being around, they've only released maybe 6 records, because Ray records when Ray wants to record. And, um, but, like the Sticks, even their lesser known stuff is wild and quirky, and it has these overtures on it that make it really worth listening to. Um, so I wasn't displeased to see this one. Not my favorite by Supertramp, but I won't complain because it's Supertramp and I love Supertramp. So um, let's just leave it at that.
Do you know what? I actually learned something today. Do you know what the original name of the band was going to be?
What's that?
Well, he was in. I know this, and I can't think of it. I want to say it was. I want to say it was. I can't remember. It was something like the Troggles or something.
Nope. No, he was in another band before this, but that's not the question.
Yeah.
The original name before they made Supertramp was going to be Daddy.
Okay.
But they said they thought it would get too confusing with all the other similar names out there in the music industry at that point. So
yeah, because he's the one who wrote "You Really Got Me." You really got me now. Which is a massive hit, for everybody from Van Halen on down to, the Kinks.
Yeah. Girl, you got me going. You're so excited. Yeah.
The reason the Kinks broke up, essentially, even though they were super popular at the height of their thing, is because him and his brother, who were the Kinks, were essentially like Chris Robinson and his brother are the Black Crowes, and like Liam and his brother from Oasis. They couldn't be in the same room together. They hated each other, so they could write amazing music together, but they couldn't stand to be in a room much together. So it just got to the point Ray wanted to do his own thing, so he started Supertramp.
It's interesting. I don't know that. Wow.
Which for Supertramp, my top 5 would be Even in the Quietest Moments, the title track of my number 5. That was a decently fun song. My number 4 was Fool's Overture, which was long as shit. But I mean, long, like 10, like a 10-minute song, which I don't mind because I listen to those all the time from other bands. But I mean, I listen to Maiden for God's sake, so I've heard 15, 20-minute songs, but like all of the songs like that, you gotta let them build in the beginning and then eventually get to the good part. But once it gets to the good part, like the last minute of that song, it's freaking phenomenal. My number 3 was From Now On. That, I swear I've heard that song before, but I can't think of where. But it's that's a really good song. My number 2 is Give a Little Bit, because I did not even realize that was Supertramp till today. I'm like, as soon as it started playing, I'm like, wait.
Give a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, this song's in so many fucking movies. I'm like, I know this song. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I didn't realize it was on this album even. Perfect. Okay, cool. But my number one, which surprised me because I thought it was going to give a little bit, but my number one kind of snuck out of nowhere here, and that was Babaji. Like that was a really fun track.
Hmm.
The instrumental on that track was so freaking phenomenally good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
remind me a lot of Bowling in America. So I'm like, all right, I love this song. I'll put this on my top here. But what are your top songs for this one, CJ?
Um, give a little bits on there. Quietest moments. But my top two are Babaji and Fool's Overture, because those are the ones that he really he lets his kind of quirkiness show. Like he lets his I guess I don't want to say composer, but he kind of lets his composer more than you know. Instead of writing pop songs, these are the two songs that he just kind of went out on a limb and like I said, he had church bells and traffic going by and the blizzard trying to blow his house down and the elemental aspects of what he added to the songs above the music was strange, but it worked. You know, um, it's something you would have expected from somebody more like Gordon Lightfoot or somebody like that as opposed to him. But
Yeah,
you know,
I mean he surprises and I don't know. I have to hear the other four albums he's done. I really do, but it's I don't know. I still would love to see. I would love to see him live back in the day when he actually. I don't think I've ever seen a Supertramp tour in the last like 10 years. So
no, I don't even think he's alive anymore. I think he died a few years ago. Um, I might be
maybe
wrong. Maybe it was his brother that died.
I don't know. I didn't read anything about it today. I mean I know a bunch of Earth, Wind, and Fire is gone, but I didn't read anything about any of the Supertramp members being gone. So um, but what album did you want to bring us this week, CJ?
Um, so the record I brought when I saw the Earth, Wind, and Fire one, um, I immediately went back to that record collection. Um, one of my favorites. People call it a funk record. It's kind of more of a new wave-ish disco. Um, it's Midnight Star, No Parking on the Dance Floor.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
because this was a record that it was fairly new at that time. It had just been released, and breakdancing was just becoming popular at that time. And it was a very popular record for the kids that were breakdancing, the electricity, the freakazoid. But more than all of that, the what hooked me is the opening to the title track, where he's like, "Hey, lady, move your car. You can't park here." And then he's like, "If you don't move your car, I'll be forced to give you a ticket. So get with it." And then
Hmm.
the synthesizer kicks in, and
Yeah.
it's just immediately, man, the the white kid sitting on the floor was just immediately like,
Yeah.
it makes your body move, man. And to this day, like 40 years later, I still listen to this stupid ass record
Yeah.
like it's one of the greatest records ever. And it's really not, but it just has that memory attached to it, and it's
Yeah.
still funky, and it's still got the synthesizers, the way they built the synthesizers on this record with the robotic vocals and the vocoders and everything. It
Hmm.
just stands up, man. Like it's such a consummate 80s record.
Yeah.
You know, like if you had to pick a record that defines like 80s R&B and funk and disco, this would be one of the records that I would immediately just say this.
Yeah.
Because so many bands after this copied this exact style. Babyface, when he started the deal before he went solo, copied this.
Yeah.
Cameo copied this.
Yeah.
Um, uh, UTFO copied this. The Freaks Come Out at Night. That
Hmm.
whole record that they did was basically copying the sort of robotic style of what Midnight Star did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is one of my. If I had to make a top 10 of favorite records, and just favorite records, not what I consider the best, but just favorite records, this would be in my top 10 of
Yeah.
records that I'll listen to 100 times and never get sick of.
I can't say the same, but Billy, you got anything you want to say about Midnight Stars? No Park on the Dance
Yeah.
Floor?
I love Midnight Star. I love the trends they set. They got a track on that album called Night Rider that I love.
Hmm.
Yep.
And I listen to that more than No Parking on the Dance Floor because again, No Parking on the Dance Floor was such a massive hit that I grew up in the hood and they used to play that song like 6,000 times a day, and so I was like, I got to move on to something else. But yeah, but I on that album, but I think Midnight Stars is maybe one of the more underrated funk bands of its
Hmm.
time because everybody brings up a lot of different I know Rolls Royce is brought up a lot, and those types of acts in that era. And Midnight Stars is just left out of the thing. It's Earth, Wind and Fire, Rolls Royce, Ohio Players, and nobody mentions Midnight Star. And there's so many trends that came off of their music. And so, yeah, I'm a fan.
This is my first exposure to Midnight Star, and when CJ told me last week, "Oh, this album's gonna get you dancing right away," I was expecting something a little more, just a little more. I don't even know how to describe it, but just something a little more.
Right.
Um, I mean, what I got is closer to Kraftwerk almost. Like it's kind of like it was strange. Like it took me a minute to get into it, and that first song, I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're all their songs are well, not all of them, but most of their songs are long as fuck in this album. So I was like, "Shit! Oh my god, I gotta sit through 10 minutes of this." And I was not doing any of the remixes or anything, CJ, as you knew I
No,
wasn't
I
going
told
through it.
you, I didn't realize they had added the remixes to it because they were on the original. Um, but maybe it's one of those things. Maybe you kind of had to be around during that time because,
Well,
like he said, this was a record you couldn't avoid. This record, like it
Yeah.
was everywhere.
Oh,
You
it's
would just
true.
walk to the store. Kids would be breakdancing on the corner to
Yeah.
it. Car speakers would be blasting it.
Yeah.
You could walk down Sunset Strip and the electronic stores would be playing the videos on the TVs in the window. Go to Venice Beach, people would be rollerblading with the big boom boxes on their shoulder playing it. It was just one. It was like the same sensation when Rob Bass came out with "It Takes Two." Was the same thing. You couldn't avoid it. You could walk. It was like a fucking hood soundtrack. You could
Yeah.
walk for 6 miles, and it was just one car after one house after one car after one house would just
Yeah.
all be playing it, and
oh,
it was like, fuck, man. you know,
Yeah.
trust me, it may be different generations, but I 100% get the feeling of that because I grew up within the club and I used to have to hear that every 5 fucking seconds for a
yeah.
couple years,
It was one
and
of
I
those
hate.
things. I wasn't even a break dancer, but I was always impressed by the break dancers because I would try to break dance, but I'm an uncoordinated white kid. So I did my best, but it was nothing compared to what some of those
Oh,
guys could do.
I mean, it's
So,
an Olympic freaking sport now, for God's sake. I mean, it's talent. It definitely takes talent to break dance well.
but
Unless you're
yeah,
from
so
unless you're from Australia, then it just takes look like an ass out there. But
you know,
oh,
people forget that even like Ice T got his start in the breaking movies with breakdancing more before he became
I yep,
an
I
MC and an actor.
It's
I saw
true.
I've seen Breaking. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
well, he was in Breaking One and Two, so I mean,
Electric Boogaloo. But
you know, yeah,
yeah. I mean, I wanted to like this album more than I did. There are certain tracks on it that I fucking loved, and like I would listen
right.
to again. There are the shorter ones, but There was definitely some good tracks on it in between, like the fucking 10-minute long breakdancing sequences. But it just overall, if I had to give it like a letter grade, it probably would have like a freaking C. It was right in the middle for me. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just kind of like there. I was like, all right. I kind of had to force myself
Yeah,
to get through it.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest record ever. It's one of them records that one, there's memories attached to it, but two, it there's so much, like it's been said, they did it and then other people copied it.
Oh, I mean,
It became one of them things where it was groundbreaking without them even, I think, realizing what they were doing at the time. Roger Troutman had a hand in this record, and Roger Troutman, for those people who know who Roger Troutman is, they give him his credit, but a lot of people don't give Roger Troutman the credit of what he really brought to the table with this band, with that band, with Average White Band, and all the other hands that he had. The entire 90s hip hop community would not exist without Roger Troutman and what
So
he brought.
true.
oh,
Yeah.
I get you. I
Yeah.
mean, trust me, if this album didn't exist, some of my favorite Beastie Boys tracks probably would never existed. So
Yeah.
I 100%.
Intergalactic absolutely would not exist.
A lot of, a lot of Beastie Boys fucking tracks were breakdancing songs basically, and they're
Yeah.
incredible. But I mean, it wouldn't have happened without this album, and I get that. I respect the legacy of it, but just not something I would go back and listen to over and over again. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure. But what are your top 5 tracks off of CJ? Or
No
whatever you
Parking
got?
on a Dance Floor is number one, just because I loved it. I loved the opening of that track, the spoken part. I'll be forced to give you a ticket. I like Night Rider. Night Rider is a great funk track.
Yeah.
Wet My Whistle
Boom.
is a killer song.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And also Slow Jam. Slow Jam is kind of, that was a song for the
Yeah.
ladies, man. It slowed it down
Play
to,
another slow jam. Yeah.
yeah,
Good stuff.
that's what I like to call that old school baby making music. The Barry
Mm-hmm.
White, the Slow Jam. You had El Giro or not El Giro, LB Shore.
Oh
A few of
yeah.
those. So and then Freakazoid was a fun song. I could do without the 25 remixes of it, but just overall, and Electricity is a cool song too. It's got that electricity. I mean, but overall, just this record, just for the bass end of it alone, really holds it's held up.
Oh, it has. I
Way
mean,
better than I think it ever was intended to. I don't think they intended this record to be nearly as good as it is 40 years later.
no, I mean, probably not. And it's, you bring up Albie Shore, now I can think about his ICP now, God damn it. But if you never heard their song Pineapple Pizza, oh my God. It's fucking, I don't even like Albie Shore. I fucking love it. But do you have any top tracks from this one there, Billy, or no?
Yeah. Night Rider. I do like Slow Jam. I think is great. You know. And that's about it. And of course, the hit itself. There's no parking. But the thing about Night Rider that I like is it has it's kind of euphoric and it's kind of formatting, but it's funky at the same time. That boom, 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 boom. It sort of kind of takes you on this kind of journey, and then it's got that one violin break in it that I love. And I think that too many songs now, when you're dealing with just dance music, certainly when you start to get into hip hop and R&B, they don't know how to let the music breathe. You know,
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and sometimes you just gotta just let it breathe, man. And one of the most annoying things is when I get a good groove on a song, and there's a moment where you could just let the music play, and somebody's got to drop 8 bars of lyrics and spit on it, and it's like, just shut up, man. I just want to hear the music. And so I think um, that was a time when people would let the music breathe, and I think that Midnight Star did a lot of that. A group that was really great at that is One Way. You know, that Mr. Groove track is just, it's one giant auto tune, really, but 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 because it's so funky, you don't mind it. It's like that's a lot of Roger Troutman stuff. It's so danceable that
Yep.
the fact that it's there, and so I think again, but getting back to the thing, that's what I think about. You got Slow Jam. I think Night Rider, of course, No Parking on the Dance Floor, and what I like about Midnight Star is they managed to pull off songs that keep your interest, and they were really just kind of coming out of that era where you had to have a full horn section, and they found a way to put it together without having a bunch of horn riffs and use some synths in some really creative ways. So yeah, that was my kind of take
Yeah,
on
because
it.
there was a lot of them. There was like 10 people in that band.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Their picture is freaking like it's like a class photo almost on the Spotify.
Yeah.
Their picture. But I had four off it that I actually kind of dug. My number four was Electricity because it kind of reminded me of we're doing the 80s new wave bracket on our specials now, and
Yeah.
Electricity kind of reminds me of Blinding Me with Science a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear elements from that and that. I don't know which came first, honestly, but they're right around the same time, I'm pretty sure.
About the same time, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number three was Slow Jam. That was a good groove. I could dig that. That's I mean that's definitely some baby making music. But my number two, which nobody mentioned yet, is more baby making music, even more so, and that's
Playmate.
Playmates. Playmates. That song is fucking
Oh
fire.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
Playmate. Love Playmates. But number one, and Billy said right in the beginning, but number one has to be Knight Rider.
Night Rider.
That song is fire. Oh my god, that
Yeah.
song is fire.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
It's
thing.
funny it came out around the same time as the TV show.
I was gonna
And
say as soon as I heard it too, as soon as I saw the name of the song too, I was like,
Mm,
tell me they're gonna have kids voicing this somewhere.
no.
like
I mean,
I,
they kind of did. I mean, they used the same technology
yeah,
that they used for that. So
but you gotta appreciate that though, because a lot of those songs back then, you would have a verse, and you would actually have a lead to a chorus. you know, and
yeah,
then the chorus would be different from the lead and the verse, musically.
yep,
And you got a lot of these songs now, it's the same beat beginning to end, and it was just stack some vocals over the top of a lead to another part, which is really the same music that was happening during the verse, which is, it's just like it felt like they were just so much more creative back then on all these
yeah.
genres,
oh they were. I
but
mean,
you know,
well the problem is it's so hard to find something original nowadays that
yeah,
I think that's their biggest problem. There's not much originality left anymore because
yeah,
everything's been done.
it's true.
But I mean, there's still
I mean, you can be. It's not the originality so much. It's just sometimes you go back to the basics.
Yeah,
I'm very big when I write myself. I'm very big on the verse, but then you have sort of the pre-chorus that leads into the chorus, and
yeah,
that breaks the. It breaks the. I don't want to say it breaks the melody, but it leads into the hook, and then once that hook hits, it gives it more weight, and then about halfway through, you have a breakdown, which again is sort of almost like a second pre-chorus where you flip the melody again and change it up
yeah.
before it goes back. So it's a lot of pieces. It's more work to do, but it's also more memorable.
yep.
You know,
True.
I
best
mean,
songs have those giant hooks that are
which
pre-chorus and breakdowns.
I mean,
Sure.
the best example I can think of that in modern times is Hobson. The way he freaking breaks his
Yeah,
he breaks it down
Yeah.
before his
I mean,
freaking
even the
chorus.
biggest songs, there's a buildup. Um,
Yeah.
uh, some of the dumbest songs that have ever been written, you know, have this lead up.
Yeah.
Uh, Madness for Our House, you know,
Well,
those
I
those
took
dun,
But,
dun, 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 and then it drops into
mm-hmm,
our house is a very, very, very fine house.
mm-hmm,
2 cars in the yard, blah blah blah. But then it drops back to that original beat, that piano. So by switching up the melodies and the instruments, you get a much stronger song, and it's memorable because your brain will attach to the main melody, but
yeah,
it'll remember the hook more.
yeah,
Um, if you ask anyone to sing the most famous songs, they can always sing the hook, but they can't
that's,
always sing the entirety of the song.
that's
Um,
exactly true. Yeah.
you know,
Uh,
so
I
a
mean,
good song is
unless it's,
always built on a good hook.
unless it's "Lose Yourself," everybody knows that song word for word. But you,
but but that's it. Look, I'm not an Eminem fan, but that's another one. It's
Yeah.
built on a hook. It's
oh
that
yeah,
that hook of you got to lose yourself, and it's that fist pump part of it. Again, a good song is built on a good hook
oh yeah.
of
I mean,
you
fucking,
know
I could name 1,000 examples, but I mean,
yeah.
it's we could be here all day with that shit. But well, folks, we brought you 3 albums tonight, as always, and 3 good albums. I'm not gonna say 3 amazing albums, but 3 good albums. Overall, 3 good albums. Definitely albums that everybody should give at least a listen to once to hear them. And you may find something memorable in there you like. But tell us, Billy Ray, where can they find you and all your music if they want to check you out?
Well, they can. I got some stuff out on Spotify we talked about, but you can find out, concert dates, music. You can get on Instagram, Billy Ray Rock, the number one on Instagram. That's my handle. Twitter X, same Billy Ray Rock one. Facebook, Billy Ray Rock one, but you got to spell out the word one. And of course, on YouTube is Billy Ray Rock one with the number one again. And yeah, so that's what I was going to tell you. We're talking about taking melodies from yesterday. I don't want to mention this. On my Four Fingers Get Up track, on the break, I took the melody from 50 Ways, 60 Ways to Leave Your Lover is in the background, um,
Oh,
which
okay.
you guys will recognize it because you guys are music folk. But a lot of kids will never pick up on that.
Of course not. But
Yeah.
un, uncultured swine in today's world. What can I say? But CJ, where can they find you? And I believe you have an album dropping in 13 days.
Oh, I do. Um, so I am on Spotify as well, YouTube, all of that. I have 2 singles out. We have the X Marks the Spot, which is a Gen X anthem. It's a hair metal track. But then I went completely to the other end of the spectrum with my second single. I have a reggae track, and that's in Tagalog, called Dalagang Filipina. So it's getting wings and actually starting to take off. So hopefully I'll have a hit in the Philippines at some point. The record that's coming out is called Neon Exodus. It is a synthwave alt rock concept record. You know, story of survival, story of love, Earth burning up. If Isaac Asimov was set to raging guitars, that's kind of what it is. But I have other stuff in the works because, me, I'm the musical madman. Um, there's more reggae stuff coming. There's a ska punk record in the works that is going to be me. Jeremy's heard some of that one. It's basically going to be if Word Al and Bowling for Soup jammed in a studio. Um, Very tongue in cheek, lots of humor. So we're gonna have songs like "My Therapist Thinks You're a Red Flag," "Who Invited the Narcissist," "I'm Only Here for the Free Beer," stuff like that. Um, that'll come out probably August or September later this year. But yeah, everywhere. Just look up CJ Plain, and
Nice.
you can hear the madness that I'm creating.
I'm only here for the free beer. That's my new anthem. But
I'm only here for the free beer.
that's my fucking anthem. But True story. But you can find both your musers on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot, on X and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard, and of course YouTube. Maniacal Music Musings on YouTube. Best place to see everything we've freaking done. Every freaking thing, wherever it's not partially blocked, because apparently they don't like me. Some apparently some countries have problems with me using samples of songs. Oh well, it's not blocked in America, and that's all that matters. So come back next week and see what we do. I got a guest I'm friends with coming on next week, and I'm looking forward to it. So just gotta get him to give me a fucking album finally. But we'll see what it is. Come back next week, folks. Have a good one,
All right,
everybody.
man. Thank you, guys. Shout out,
And,
brothers.
and thank you, Billy, for coming on. You've been
You
awesome, man.
betcha, man. Thank you,
Have a
brother.
good night,
Appreciate
everybody.
y'all. All right.
Yeah.